Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast, the show where we don't talk about Bruno, unless it's Bruno Sammartino, of course. Did you guys see Encanto?
Yeah, like 12 times.
Kevin has. Joe, have you
Not
seen
yet.
Encanto?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. All right. It's an Encanto Disney reference. So
I got the reference because I teach children, but no, I haven't.
And because
seen the movie.
I'm surprised with that.
Right.
That was a heel move.
Oh,
by
your wife did not make you watch that yet.
Or Joe did not make his wife watch that yet.
Not yet. But no,
Not
we
yet.
just haven't watched. I haven't watched a lot of anything yet, except for wrestling. Seems
So
like
does
my
the
job.
movie say, are you talking about Bruno?
There's a whole thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it's a
whole
song.
song of that. There's a whole song called We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Is it better than Thank You from Moana?
You mean
It's
you're
pretty
welcome?
good. I'm going to say
You're
no.
welcome from
'Cause
Yeah, you're
Moana.
welcome. It's not thank
Yeah.
you, but you're welcome.
There's a reason why
Yeah.
it's both good is because they're both written by the same guy. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lynn, yeah. It's very good, but
Yeah, that's what makes
The Rock,
You're welcome.
thank you. Yeah.
good. Yeah,
It's nice
you know,
that
'cause
Disney
Hamilton
time-
guy wrote it.
You're welcome.
the-
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
at any event, you guys give me your Encanto reviews next week. It is Brian. The
No.
entire show is present this week. Kevin's here, Joe's here, and yes, even JJ. Thank you for joining us and choosing us over Kings versus Avalanche. Big game on Thursday night hockey. Thank you for coming part of the show this week. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. No problem. So lots to unpack this week, but it's time to check out the shirts with What Are You Wearing?
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
All right. Would anybody like to go first? No one would like to go first. So
I'm breaking my rule.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break my rule here because last week I said
break the
I
rules,
had-
break the walls down.
pretty much last week I said that each week was going to be a Rumble winner.
Oh, that's
But
right.
I
Yes.
felt like I had to. And this is the first time, it's been really relevant to wear this shirt. So I'm going with my Mustafa Ali.
Oh
Taste
my
the
God.
Light. I got it for Christmas from somebody. It was
Oh,
a great gift.
That's right. That's
The
right.
soft,
greatest
very
gift.
comfortable.
From the greatest gift giver in the history of gift giving. Acknowledge
It's funny
me.
though, because I completely forgot it was there because it got lost in the pile of other wrestlers.
Oh, that
You're
that-
actually funny, Joe. Wow.
That
Who
may
are
be a
you?
clearance shirt here very, very soon.
But you chased the light and you found it.
Chase
Yeah.
the light into the dark.
Okay, very topical. We'll get to that for sure. Go ahead, Kev. You got a good one, it looks like.
Yeah, I couldn't have you show me up. You were rocking out the Kevin Nash stat shirt at
Yeah.
GCW this past weekend. So this is a pickup off WWEshop.com around Christmas time. $8. It's diesel power.
Yes. Love it.
Wait, hold up.
A lot of GCW talk coming up next from the Harpo show. Jay, your shirt is appropriate for the season.
Yeah, I've got a couple Royal Rumble shirts that I'll wear over the next couple weeks. This is
Yeah.
the Attitude Era Rumble poster, which is a takeoff of the 80s era, which, spoiler, I'll wear that shirt next week. Homage.com.
Me too.
Awesome. Yeah, you got
Twinsies.
China on there. That's definitely Attitude Era. For my shirt, I haven't got to show you guys. We usually do a little pre-show. This just came in yesterday.
Dun, 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 dun,
Let
dun.
me get down
Dun,
here.
dun,
And it's my
Mm.
Gunther shirt. Hot off the presses. It just came in off WWEshot.com. Man, that's as timely as it could be. Look at that, huh?
Well,
My goodness.
I have a hot take on that later, so I do want to
Well,
go first
yes.
when we talk that. But if you go to our website, whatamaneuver.net, and search our merchandise, our
Yep.
T-shirts, there is a brand new T-shirt up, and I can't keep a secret. I'm the worst. Last week, I watched the show, and when Joe made a joke saying that now that Brian's the host, it's a new era, and that it's That Wrestling Podcast 2.0, I've got up on whatamaneuver.net for sale right now, TWP 2.0. Black shirt,
Awesome.
white font from our friends at whatamaneuver.net. Go get it now. It'll be there forever. So it's not going away. It's not limited time, but definitely get one because it's awesome.
Is it fair to say that Joe gets a higher percentage of the royalties from the sales of this one since it was his
Actually,
idea?
yes, which is in his total, much
Yeah.
like your guys, is 0. So
Oh, no.
I get all the profits.
So I get double that. Nice.
You're the teacher.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. Whatamaneuver.net. And we'll talk about their rebrand in a little bit. But let's begin with last Friday night. We did a lot of stuff on social media. Kevin and myself, we got to attend GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. It was GCW Most Notorious at Harpo's in Detroit. It was a blast. Kevin and I will share our thoughts. The show, it actually started 1 hour later than advertised. On the ticket, it said 7 to 10, but maybe because of the Fight TV deal, they moved it up to 8. So what was fun, we get in there after standing in a freezing cold line. Jay, you see us right away because Jay orders the show, which is great. So we're standing.
One of us has to.
Yes, thank you. And we're standing right in front of the hard cam. And it's so funny to get the picture of like the little circle, like that's you. Like, yes,
because you're both 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And you stand out and you're with Ken, who has a Steeler jersey on.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's
Ken's
so easy to find you guys. Even if I didn't know you guys were on that cam side, I would have seen you because Kevin's 8 feet tall.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And yeah, Ken's Jerome Bettis Detroit or Jerome Bettis Steeler jersey was the dead giveaway for sure. The show started off with a bang. It had a scramble match. It was 6-person, and then a 7th guy jumps from the stage, which is doubly hilarious because right in plain sight are the signs saying no stage diving. So right off the bat, it was like, oh my God, we're in for a treat. It was a blast. I'll turn it over to Kevin. Why don't you share some of your favorite moments, highlights of the night, my friend?
Yeah. So you mentioned it being cold in line. So my first GCW event was with Jay in Vegas, and I think it was like 110,
116 or something.
Yeah, like 120. And I was just like, I think I said this like 5-6 times because I couldn't feel my legs, couldn't feel my hands standing outside in that line. And I was like, how cold is it? And it was like 20. So it was literally like 100-degree difference in different lines waiting to get in GCW. And for everyone listening, Harpo's is kind of a dumpy concert venue in the ghetto of Detroit. Amazing sound though. Amazing sound. So we get in the ring in the middle of like where the pit is. And Harpo's is very odd because the stage is like tiered. What 8 inches, like 8 to 10 feet above where the pit floor is. So if you're seeing a concert, you literally have to put your neck and you're going to have neck pain the night before or
if you're in the
day
pit.
after.
Yeah.
So it's like they had seats all on the main floor. They had seats on the stage. I guess like the VIP section.
Yeah.
There were some questionable characters that were like very laughable during the show on there. Like kids just getting so excited.
Yeah.
Wives, girlfriends that looked bored as hell that were playing on their phones. A guy we thought was going to maybe like never get up. And
he was a big boy.
He was a big dude. I mean, like viscera.
That folding chair was holding on for dear life.
Yes. But the people, the fans are one of the best things I would say for the highlight of the night. I mean, they were energetic throughout the entire night. One of the coolest things was several of the matches left the ring and ventured off into the crowd almost. And like, I would estimate maybe like 400, 500 people there. It was pretty big. It was pretty packed, energetic. Everyone was going nuts. There's people standing on chairs, people standing on bar tables, like where Brian and I were trying to get like an elevated view.
Yeah.
But the scramble was sweet. I remember right before the show started, I was like, Brian, if someone doesn't jump off that stage, land on the rope, do a 360 somehow and land on someone. And like, it wasn't right. Just like that. But yeah, right off the bat in the scramble, as Brian said, guy flew off like an ex NXT guy you mentioned, right, Brian?
Yes. Yeah. He's like a 205 Live guy.
Or 205 Live guy.
Name. Yeah.
But other than that, like Kevin Nash was kind of cool, stoned out of his mind. Cardona, the heat Cardona got.
Yeah,
I
amazing.
mean, Jay, I want to know how it looked on camera from you watching at home, because in person, I mean, just seeing so many middle fingers. There's like memorable people. What I was thinking of, like watching ECW back in the day, there's a guy wearing like a Detroit Red Wing. So we were watching him like the whole
Red Wings jersey guy.
Red
he was
Wings
all
guy.
over the camera that night.
There's one of the cool things was, and then I'll get like 2 or 3 sections where I thought were pretty good matches. Right off the bat, there was a dad bringing his like daughter, maybe like 6-7 years old. Okay, right in the front row. Down the row from the Red Wings guy, there was like security that walked up, talked to the dad, and then moved them to a different section on the main floor. So we think like maybe they were like, "What are you doing, Dad? Bring in this
You're a fucking idiot,
little girl." But Cardona heat was sweet. Going through the crowd was really cool. Seeing Alex Shelley was amazing in the ring live. But that hardcore match at the end, I mean, that death match between Alex Colon and Hoodfoot. I mean, right off the bat, a dude named Hoodfoot, and then it was scary. Like, I mean, so many flurry, the fluorescent bulbs and like light the chains of "you sick fuck," like so many cringe moments and like, ooh, like so many. And
I'm gonna add a cringe moment. I thought Bussy was the main event, and I turned it off. I didn't even see the death match. Okay, I thought it was the main event. Well, I'm like, I don't care. And yeah.
In full transparency, me and Kevin left probably about 2 to 3 minutes before the finish of the death match, and I'll get into that in just a second.
But seeing one live, it was not cringy in a bad way. I loved it, but it's more just like, holy crap. Cause right before it started, they made an announcement. Beware. There's going to be glass shattering everywhere. If you don't want to be part of that, move out of the way.
Yeah.
And then you see like maybe 50-60% of the people move from out of the way, but those hardcore, diehard GCW local fans front, right, and center, especially with that glass pane, like they're shooing people away. There's still idiots that are roughly 4 or 5 feet away. And I'm just like, holy crap. Like
before the pandemic, there was a lot of those type of deathmatch shows out here in LA. Like there's one Suburban Fight Club, and they basically had wrestling matches in bars with no ring. Yes. And it was like, you can Google that stuff, and it's super awesome, super cool. But before COVID, they always encourage people to bring some sort of face covering, because those fluorescent tubes, there's shit that comes off of them. Not necessarily like glass fragments, but like shit in the air. Yeah. So you don't breathe it in. So yeah, I've seen enough of those. I know it was good. I'm not mad that I missed it. I didn't even know there was one until the next day. But as far as Cardona, Captain Unoriginal, yeah, everybody hates him, and he's playing his role perfect, and that's what's supposed to happen. And, he's a twat, man, pulling his woman in front of him again. This is the third fucking time.
Why didn't she move?
He called her. He called her his hostie in their fucking wedding vows.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mid Cardona.
He's living the gimmick. I love it. I love it. Jay, any other impressions from watching at home? Like how the venue look? Any match that you were into?
It looked great, and Matthew Justice is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
he was like the metal guy, and on commentary, they made a lot of references to the bands that have played there over the years.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And Justice, obviously, he sang Pantera, so that's fun.
That was the longest post match, on Mike's. Everyone was like, "Bro, you're having fun, but let's wrap it up."
And the crowd was hyped for the sing along. Did it come across like that? Like watching
it was
live at home?
That was fun.
that was fun. And then Kevin Gill on commentary is awesome. Their ring announcer, Emil J.
Yeah, awesome. I like him a lot.
Good follows on social media, but during the Bussy match, they were just making references, like you can't hit the Bussy hard. You got to treat it nice. It's about sliding into the Bussy, not jamming and slamming it. Like, because before that, I didn't know if it was Bussy.
Same here.
I had no idea. So when they said it, I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. Yeah. So, because, Bussy sounds like pussy. So, yeah.
So spell it out for us. Thank you, my friend. It was great. I was excited to be experiencing GCW at such a iconic, legendary, infamous is probably the best word venue of Harpo's. I marked out for the dance floor being lit up. My now wife said when she was like 19, they used to have dance nights on Thursday with the lighted floor. So when that was on, I was, you guys saw my sweet moves during the recap video that I put together.
It was unsee it. We can't unsee it, Brian. Sorry.
And
when you see that floor, you have to do something. I'm sorry.
And Brian, I did not hear you say, "Jay, I'm over here."
Oh,
Jay,
okay.
I'm over here.
Damn it, that was in my notes.
I even rewound it. I'm
I tried
because my wife was traveling, so there was nobody at this house. I'm like, I just jack it up. And then I saw your video. And I heard it. I'm like, oh, maybe that's like, okay, I'm done.
Oh my God.
I heard it on your video. I didn't hear it on the broadcast. If I heard it on the broadcast, I probably would have lost my mind.
Kiss guy.
I tried.
Guy.
Yeah.
What is Kiss Guy?
Kiss Guy was during that Justice Atticus match where they were back on the dance floor, doing the whole thing. And this guy, he wasn't standing by us. He like runs up on the floor and is like so enthusiastic. And he had a big Kiss t-shirt on. And like Kevin pointed out, he's like, Kiss. So it wasn't like, kiss me. He's wearing a Kiss shirt. Yeah. And so I put that in the video, and what do you know? The dude found us on YouTube. His name's Paul or Josh. He's a new subscriber. I'm hoping he's listening to the podcast. But we were like, dude, I commented back, like, your enthusiasm was amazing. You were so into it. So how funny was that? Kevin and I have a new favorite wrestler too. He was in that opening scramble match, and I don't know his real name, but when he came out, I went, God, this guy looks like Scott Steiner's little brother from like back in the day. He had the mullet, he had the spandex tights, and his nickname was Twat Steiner.
Twat Steiner, yeah.
I was like, I knew it.
Yeah, they referred him to that on camera as well. So.
Twat Steiner. So Twat Steiner was in the house. Seeing Kevin Nash, I started when him and Shelly did like the too sweet off, and they like had like the break apart. I started the "You Still Got It" chant, so I was really proud of myself for that. Like I said, we did leave early. The main event's going on, and it's brutal.
Like the Progressive commercials. You're the old people who are like talking about when you're leaving early.
Well, but it was for good reason in the sense that, well, I mean, first off, okay,
beat traffic.
We got beat the 400 people that were there. But no, listen, this was we got there at 6:30, and it's standing room only. It's 11:15. But the main reason why we wanted to go was I wanted to take Kevin to a local brewery that I'm in the Mug Club for. They close at midnight, and one of the guys that was with us, Jay, his name is also Jay. He's like, can you take me back to my car, which is at my house? So I'm like, all right, we got to go so I can get you to your car to then go to the brewery to beat last call. And so while I don't think we barely had left the Harpo's parking lot, Ken, who stayed for the end, calls me and goes, dude, they poured salt in the guy's wounds. They literally brought out salt and were pouring it. I'm like, oh my God. But it's like literally we could have stayed 3 more minutes and we would have seen the finish. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Great night. They're coming back. They're coming back April 23rd. So certainly we hope to be going back to that if circumstances present itself.
If your wife lets you, is that your circumstance?
In theory, yeah. One of many qualifiers.
Brian, you were big ECW guy.
Yeah.
Can you compare? Is there? There's talk about it.
Yeah, it definitely has that same underground feel to it. It feels, not mainstream. Even, I mean, boy, their logos, and I did buy a shirt at the show. They're using a lot of the old ECW fonts and designs. So the threads are all there. Yeah, nice. They're using, Kevin Nash coming out to the Wolfpack music. That's not authorized. What's that?
which you loved.
I did. Yes. I listen.
Greatest faction ever.
That's the only thing good about the Wolfpack. If I could
Brian
go back to that episode. Yeah, I said I'm down for the Wolfpack theme. Everything else after that. Yeah, no, it totally has the ECW vibe. There was "you fucked up" chants, "you sick fuck" chants. Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Well worth the money. And so they got their big show. Is it Saturday or Sunday? The Hammerstein
Sunday.
show? Sunday.
So it's Sunday.
The World on GCW. Yeah.
It's $24. It looks awesome. Like the card itself looks awesome. Joe, I know you're not going to buy it, so I'm not even going to ask you. But Kevin and Brian, you should watch it. You should get it to see how it is projected on TV. You know, you've been to two. You haven't watched any before. Definitely, I'm buying it because the whole every match is fucking awesome. So, John Moxley's coming back. Jeff Jarrett's going to be there. You know, Mid Cardona is going to get killed by Janela, and he's going to watch Janela fuck his wife right there in the Hammerstein. And so many good matches.
Oh my god!
Fight TV, and they're actually doing it on regular pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, how funny is that?
Fight
right?
TV.
Oh,
yeah. You can go regular pay-per-view. I'm considering it. I wasn't sure. I thought it was Saturday, and I'm like, well, there's UFC and there's things. We'll have to see. I want to keep GCW special. I definitely don't want to watch it every week because it would probably lose to me.
But this is the big one.
This is the big one. Right? This is their
like their Mania.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the biggest of all time because, I mean, think about it. It's the Hammerstein.
Yeah.
GCW, all of the, I mean, it's just the biggest thing ever. And nobody thought they'd be doing that.
Yeah. I think they call WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all. I think I saw somebody on Twitter call it the stepdaddy of them all. So I think it's an appropriate term.
It's the illegitimate daddy.
Yes.
How many people can fit in Hammerstein?
I think 1,000-ish.
No, I think it's like
3,000? That much? Okay.
And they sold out pretty quick too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty cool. And
big night.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. For the sport of pro wrestling, I'm definitely down for it. And I don't, I watch it when I can. I'm not like the hardcore, but you guys were just there. And I think because I've watched it before, you guys need to watch it just to see the presentation on broadcast, especially in pay-per-view now. Who knows what the fuck that's going to mean?
2,200 people.
Okay.
All right. Split the difference.
Jay, if you get it on Sunday, I'll get it on Sunday. We can tag.
I'm getting it on Sunday.
Chat.
So.
Are you talking about Fire Stick Steve, Kevin?
Yeah,
it's a little inside info he gave me on the show.
This they deserve.
If you're going to talk about stealing, we don't want to talk about stealing.
No, it's not stealing. It's pirating.
This one I will buy.
There's a difference. One's a lot cooler of a name.
You're going to admit this on broadcast?
No.
Are you going to admit this right now?
Matey?
Oh, no. Yeah, look at it. He got the code of silence now.
He's so silent right now.
GCW rules. Great night. Great show. Thanks, Kevin, for coming up. Awesome time for sure. The big news of the week. There's a couple of news things we're going to touch on. But I'd say the biggest, most timely one took place Tuesday. News broke that WWE had trademarked a name, and the name was Gunther Stark. And on the surface, that seems fine. But if you did a quick Google search, you'd find out that was a World War II Nazi boat captain. You can see where that would be problematic. So we were going to discuss this originally, actually, when the story broke. It was like, okay, this sounds just like a horrible idea or an honest, stupid mistake. But then on NXT, Walter, great main event match, Roderick Strong, fucking great match. Mm-hmm. After he wins, Walter cuts off the ring announcer. He declares the winner is Gunther. I've got the shirt right now. Twitter blew up because of the connection. And now note, no, he did not use the last name Stark. He just used Gunther. So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. I'll go to you first, Jay, because I know you said you had a hot take about this. So lay it on us.
So what's interesting is everyone on the internet are fucking idiots. And who cares if they changed his name? You have a guy wrestling in NXT UK named Walter, American name. He is now over here in the United States wrestling for NXT. They changed his name to Gunther. It could be a lot worse. They could call him Wally. They could call him anything. Gunther is not a bad name. They're not using Stark for obvious reasons, but even if they did, I guarantee that there are people that played in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball that had names of horrible people. One I can think of is David Dukes. He was the Grand Wizard of the KKK. There are plenty of players that have that name. So if you're pissed off that they changed his name to Gunther, you're a fucking idiot. It's a great name. He didn't use Stark, and it's Gunther, not Gunther. He didn't say Gunther. He said Gunther.
Well, all right.
Gunther.
We're none of us, I believe, are Austrian on this show, so it might be tough to pull that off. Joe, you've been the silent assassin on this show so far. So your reaction to what Jay has said. What do you think about the name change? Where's your headspace here?
I'm not surprised Jason's reaction. I'm really not. I don't like it, not because of what people are saying online, going like, oh, he's ruined. It's all over. Bearcat Lee all over again. I'm not on that boat. What I am is it's changed just a change. And there's no point to it. It's just like another one of those things like, I don't like Walter, pal. Let's think of a German name. How about Gunther?
They got to get the trademark and the IP.
It's I don't know. I thought it just basically Walter was just way too awesome. It just works. It's like this guy, you just see him, it's like Walter. It's like, yeah, you can pull off the name Walter. But Jason, you're right. I know, but it's like he pulls it off though. It's like to make it a wrestler's name.
Because I hated that name at first too.
But then when you saw him, you're like,
Walter.
Okay. Anyone else named Walter, you're like, okay, you are done. You're not even making 205 Live.
Right. And then
you see this guy, and you saw him in the ring, you're like, pulls it off. Walter, great name.
I saw him in the ring, and then I told you.
I know you did, and then you told us.
6 months to watch the fucking match.
Yeah. Don't worry, it'll take me 6 months to watch Incognito or whatever it's called. Anyway, the point is, it was changed just to change. It's another one of those things where it's the big man just has to. It's not something I created. I'm going to change it. And I'm afraid. This is my fear. It's not that he's going to be like watered down. It's the fact that we are going to see something as terrible as Truth Commission 2.0.
Oh,
That's my fear. That is my fear.
Let's hope it's just Walter under the bridge. I mean, water under the bridge. Sorry. Another slip there. It's frustrating because he's been in the system, right? NXT UK for like 3 years, and it's like
Survivor Series.
Yeah, he's been in Survivor Series. He did a
You
Raw
have a shirt
that was over. I have a shirt. I got the updated shirt now, fresh off the shop zone. You have to see it on YouTube, friends, to see what I really did. So that's what's frustrating. I don't hate the name. I mean, obviously, if they include the Stark, you go, dude, what the F are we doing here?
Mm.
I think it'll grow on me like Walter grew on me at first.
I'm predicting Shorty G is going to last until they realize it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
I think it does work though.
I don't think so.
It's just weird. I can
Walter works better because it's such a dork name. Sorry, Kevin, for your middle name, but it's such a dork name. But it's like it works for him.
And that's the thing, though. Like, I wonder, are the fans just going to keep chanting? They would do.
Of course they will.
Of course they are, but fans are jerks. We already know that.
They got to be on. They got to take over the show.
But isn't that why they should change it? He's got such a reputation with this.
It's another thing, like I say in the classroom, when the kids are acting up, you don't give in or you lose all your power. You have to stick to your guns. I just don't think it's going to last as long.
Gunther is a fucking great name.
It will have to last.
It's not bad.
He's so serious. They can't go back 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, because he's that type of guy, doesn't smile, no bullshit. They chant Walter. He's just going to look pissed. It'll actually probably fuel him even more to appreciate Gunther. I don't like Gunther, just going to be honest. I prefer Walter. But
naturally,
if there's one guy who's going to live the name and be scary as F, it's going to be him.
Gunther.
As long as he's doing chops, it'll all work out,
Well,
right?
so-
That's all
it's just like
That's all that matters.
it's just like what
that's all that matters. But
Piper-
it still
Piper-
worries me. You just don't touch our favorites. Leave them be.
like Piper Niven, right? Came on,
Two
Dewdrop.
drop rules.
So
Two
like,
drop
okay,
rules. Two
most
drop
likely
rules.
what Tommaso Ciampa or Pete Dunne will debut in the Rumble for main roster. Is he going to be known as Petey? Peter?
Yeah.
Dunzo?
Joe-
Peter Dunzo?
He's gonna
That's
be
what, that's what
Beard
worries
Face.
me. I get
Beard
it.
Face
Or,
McGee.
Or Tommaso Ciampa, is he going to be Thomas Champion? Like
That sounds like a great name for like the USWA.
that's the only fear that I have is
Exactly.
is they mess up.
Don't
Gunther's
go farther.
Gunther's not a wussy name, right?
No.
It sounds tough. Walter he commanded the respect no matter what the hell he's going to be named. He demanded the respect. I just fear they're going to play the name game with people like Tommaso Ciampa. That's a sweet name, right? That it sounds cool. I don't know anyone named fucking Tomasa in Ciampa. It sounds like a cool name.
Well, Joe,
That's my biggest fear.
speaking of Tommaso Ciampa, you're about to lose a six-pack bet to me in 1 week. Would you like to make another six-pack bet?
Depends on what it is.
Double or nothing.
How long do you think it's going to be until they change his name?
Oh, I don't think they will because they're going to be basically sticking to it. The only way his name will change is if when Gunther gets wished best of luck on their future endeavors, and that's not going to be for a while.
Well, that doesn't. No,
I'm not taking that bet. I'm not taking that bet.
Because you're going to lose next Saturday. So,
I think I did a pretty good job with my off the cuff.
You came close. You came
I came close. It's still not done
It's
yet.
not over yet.
Because if Tommy Champ, who Kevin just called him, goes to the Rumble, gets eliminated, and then is like fired when he hits the floor. Right. Technically, I still won the bet.
It's not over yet.
Before the Royal Rumble.
If he shows up, the Rumble is the cutoff day. Like when the event ends.
Well, he's not going to get fired the moment he gets thrown out of the ring. And if he does, we're not going to know that. So I win anyway.
Did you guys say Tommaso Ciampa? Like
it was Adam Cole,
what
Johnny Gargano, and Ciampa were the three.
What if they change his name and Ciampa's not it has to be the physical person?
No, I think that's a great idea, Kevin.
Nah.
No, I'm just asking.
GFY, Joe. GFY.
That's being trademark.
The only thing I'm
I get it.
The only thing I'm going to keep an eye on, if you guys remember when the NXT tag team known as the War Raiders went to Raw and they were rebranded the Viking Experience, and everybody went, "Oh no, what?"
I did.
The following week they became the War
Viking
Raiders, and
Viking Raiders.
Thank you, and everybody went, "That's better. Thank you." So will this have a similar effect of people going, "No, it's Walter," and they change it back? I'd say slim, but I'm not going to.
It'll be Gunther Walters. His last name will be Walters. Sounds
like a radio name, right, Kev?
Hey, it's Gunther Walters. That's the top of the hour.
Like Chris Bryan.
Like Chris Bryan.
It's not a terrible name. That's the thing.
It's not. It's
that was
really
Brian's radio name in Youngstown.
That was my name at Youngstown
Gunther?
Radio was Chris Bryan. Yeah, I did the flipperoonie there. And they did. I saw today they abandoned the trademark of Gunther Stark, which I mean, it just sounds like this was just a total f up. Like no one Googled, and so
it happens.
Here we are. It does happen. So.
PCB
stuff you can find on
yeah. So we'll follow that story, of course. Another high drama story. Mustafa Ali, he requested his release. He basically said he can't achieve what he wants in WWE. Jay, I think it was maybe late summer or in the fall. You sent over the video that Ali had posted on YouTube saying, "This was my idea. It looked like it was going to happen. It's not." And it was this Ali's New America.
It was like propaganda.
He was a politician.
So good.
He is a talented guy. And the story that's come out is that Vince gave him some other creative idea that he rejected. And apparently the word was used. He was embarrassed that they was even offering that. Joe, I'll let you start. Thoughts on Ali requesting his release. how have you felt about his time in WWE? And then Jay may reply, because the two of you have a little bit of fun with a group called Retribution. Joe, you can start.
I get to start. Yay,
Yes.
lucky
Ding,
me.
ding, ding.
I'll sit back and sip my beer.
Ding. All right. I feel like his time in WWE has been wasted potential. He has the talent. There's no getting around that. He has great ideas. They've been giving him crap for years. He was the hacker because they didn't know what to do and they didn't do anything with it. It was all nonchalant. By the way, I'm the hacker. He was the leader of Retribution. Probably, you have to say, goes down as one of the worst factions to ever be.
You'll have your
part
time,
of
Jay.
WWE.
Hold on.
You'll have your time. Yeah, this is a debate. Give me my chance. Okay.
30 seconds on the clock.
That was another one of those change just to change. Dominic Dijakovic is now Mace, or is he T-Bar? It doesn't matter.
He is?
That was just changing just to change. And then he gets saddled with coming on and being with Mansoor as his tag team partner. Didn't do anything for him. And you could just tell from there, that team up, that he was just pretty much done. I'll do this if you let me. I'll scratch your back if you let me. If you scratch mine, and then
Not
like
even
you
the
said,
right thing, but whatever.
okay,
And
you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. How
There
about
you
that?
go. Yay!
All right. The point is, he has immense talent, which has been wasted, and I'm actually proud of the fact that he requested his release. And I wish more people would do that instead of playing like, okay, I'm just going to do this because they'll take care of me down the road. We've seen too many times. Who here listened to Killer Cross's interview on Busted Open earlier? Okay,
Yeah.
he was on with Busted Open earlier on Thursday and said, it's my fault. I got complacent. I kept saying yes.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'm not a fan of it, but I'm going to play ball. And what happened? Nothing. He got released. And that's what's happening now. You got all these guys who are just have this idea of like, okay, I'll do this, but then I'll be taken care of down the road. And it's not going to happen. And he saw the writing on the wall. I'm actually proud to wear this shirt because I wish more guys would have the guts to say, I want out. I'm not dealing with this, because the grass is greener in other places if you are upset. We could all quit our job if we are unhappy. It's BS that these guys can't.
Oh, you can be proud all you want, but he was denied.
I know he was.
His release.
I feel bad, but I was proud that he stood up for himself.
Well, what's crazy about him, I don't know if you know, he was a Chicago police officer. Like,
Yes.
the dude's a legit, like, badass. Yeah. So, yes, it's pretty obvious he's been wasted. And as far as Retribution goes, before they signed their contract, which is fucking stupid, the storyline
ruined it.
was so good.
Yeah, that was
The
bad.
random attacks, the
Yes.
fire bombs, the stuff
chainsaw
was
to
awesome.
the ropes. I like that.
Yes.
They chainsaw to the ropes. So like, what is this?
But Retribution can be a thing forever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sucks, but he's not going anywhere.
I
So
gotta
there's still maybe an opportunity, for
Yeah.
him. I mean, it might be on 205 Live for a while, or they might just have him sit at home until his contract expires. But
yeah,
But that's what I've read. It's supposed to be years. He's got
Mhm.
years left on this
Oh.
contract.
Is his wife pregnant, or did
they just had a baby.
kid? Well,
like,
good for him.
Within
Let
like a
him get
month
paid
ago.
and
he
let
can
him-
knock her up a few more times, and then
You guys let me talk. We should let Jason talk and finish his part of this too, because it's like,
No, I'm
I want
good.
to hear your opinion.
All good.
I'm done.
All
I'm
good.
done.
But
You're
no,
done?
that, I can think about, I think Luke Harper requested his release and it was denied at first. And I remember he came back for a little while. Like they eventually found something for him to do before they did grant his release. So maybe that's the pathway for Ali. You guys said he was denied his release, which, yeah, that's a whole nother topic that if these guys are classified as independent contractors, how can they not be released from their contract? That's a whole nother show,
This is
right?
the way I compared it. Think of it this way. You guys are Steeler fans. Imagine if they released Juju, but said, okay,
Jamie
we're
throwing a
releasing
party.
I have
we're
a
releasing
fucking
you.
party.
However, You have a non-compete clause, and you can't join another team until week 13 of the next season.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, if you're getting if you're
I
getting
don't
paid,
care.
At least
it's
you
one
should
thing.
just be allowed to go wherever you want. You shouldn't have to wait till your contract's up.
Actually, yeah, you kind of do because you're getting paid through the length of your
As
contract.
long as you're getting paid, I get that.
Are they
Yeah.
getting paid
I
for the
think
90?
so.
The
Yeah.
Dollar
rest of the
bill.
contract
They
is
are.
90 days.
Yes.
Yep.
That's my understanding.
Well, then they should just not get paid and let them go get it somewhere else.
Well, that's
They let them have the
another
option.
topic for
It's
another
like,
day.
let them have
Well,
the
Joe,
option of it.
You can start.
ECW appearance by
Heck yeah, we saw Leon
in
Ruff
April
on
at
on
Harper's
Friday
in
baby.
the scramble.
Joe,
I can
you
start my
can.
own.
In the
Joe,
screen.
you should start the Pro Wrestlers Union.
Oh yeah, that'll go over.
Some
That's
guy
right.
from Ohio starting a pro wrestling union because they talk about it on the podcast.
Well, speaking of unions and contracts, there's somebody apparently working without a contract right now. That is one Cody Rhodes.
Very
Segue.
nice.
Bing. Yeah. So there's been rumors of him and the other executive vice presidents like Kenny and the Bucks just not getting along. And of course, there's on the other side, WWE rumor of wanting to get a big name for this like forbidden door for the Rumble. Cody kind of addressed it on Dynamite. It was that promo was all over the place. And he talked about the pipe bomb. He eventually got to Sammy Guevara in a ladder match. Does anybody think there is a chance we see Cody at the Rumble or WWE in general?
No.
No one thinks so. Okay. Anyone care to explain why they don't think so?
He may not have a talent contract, but he has a contract as an EVP. They got him on the Big Show. They got him his horrible reality show that nobody fucking watches. He gets the title every time a new season of the Big Show comes back. They need TNT champion Cody Rhodes is one of the guests with Jennifer Nettles and some rapper, and where they hit people in the nuts with 2x4s, like what happened Wednesday night.
Ouch.
He's not going to WWE. In 2 minutes of Jason last week, I think I said that.
Okay. No, well, you said that about. You said no one was coming from AEW because the Cody.
No,
news
I said
broke
Mox
this
and
week.
Cody are not. Mark Henry or the Big Show would be in the Rumble if it's somebody from
this
AEW.
was before the contract news broke out. Okay, who would like to? Let's change it. Who would like to see Cody in the Rumble?
No.
Come on.
No.
How cool would that be?
It'd be cool if it was Stardust.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay, fine.
I love Stardust,
Cool if
but
he
no,
came
it
out
wouldn't.
in polka dot
No.
and was dancing.
Stardust.
No,
I want to see Stardust.
Come out as Cody effing Rhodes. If you want to do something, put on the mask when you were smoking
Dye his hair
mirrors.
brown.
Yeah, do that.
Come out in the undies.
I love Cody. I love Stardust. Honestly, that theme song was fucking killer. But no, I think that would be so cool. I'd love to see that. And
You're the one.
Kevin raised his hand too. So
Yeah, I
we're
give
fans.
it. I'd say a 1% chance he shows up. It's actually I just want to be more than zero.
Cue
wanna
the
say,
Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber.
So
So
you're
you're
telling
saying
me
there's
there's
a
a chance.
chance.
The only reason is because that the promo was really, really weird. When you have to say, "Oh, I was waiting to do this promo, but I couldn't wait anymore."
Right.
When you say that, you're just like, okay, this is very rehearsed. But when people started chanting Royal Rumble in the crowd,
Yes.
and he gave like a little turn and twitch, like he really wanted to smile, and then he mentioned I got the contract for the ladder match, not the contract I wanted. And I was like, you know what?
Yes.
I wouldn't mind it if this is the bad thing. Like I said with last week, I want Mickie James to come out with her Impact music, right? That is a legitimate chance
coming out with the title.
That is a legit chance of her coming out with her Impact music versus Mickie James music, WWE style. But if Cody, in a crazy chance, he does show up, there's no way he would come out to that AEW music. He would come out to his WWE themed music.
I don't know about that, but hey, next week he has the ladder match with Sammy. If he loses, he doesn't have the TNT title.
No.
Come on, feel
Dude,
me here.
Both of you got worked when I said I wasn't going to be here because I had Kings tickets. Instead, I want to talk about Britt
Yeah.
Baker and Ben Roethlisberger for an hour and a half. There is
That's
no
next week's show.
way.
Yeah, we postponed it.
Yeah,
I
just
got
Thanks,
breaking
thanks to
that
the
one,
Gunther
too.
news. We postponed
breaking
that show.
news. Cody will appear in the Rumble, appear on Raw the next night, and debut the USA Championship title.
Not happening.
Yeah, it's probably not happening, but
No.
I'm daring to
You
dream.
think probably
because
out of the sentence.
well,
It's going to be the Big Show or
let's
Mark
let
Henry.
it happen.
Those are the
If-
only two AEW
when the Rumble
talents.
credits roll, I can say, okay, it didn't happen. All right.
What is
I'm
Dean
just
Ambrose going to come back to?
He's not coming back.
No, he's just
But
gonna yell "fuck."
all right, calm down, Kevin.
Yeah.
Calm down. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right, but we can talk about some actual television story developments, not just behind the scenes things. I thought it was interesting. Lita on SmackDown. All right, so she comes out. She says she's got one more run in her. She's interrupted by Charlotte, and when I okay, one thing, it's like, all right, that's Legend and Charlotte, and Joe's already fallen asleep. But what was interesting was I read up on it. Maybe you guys saw this too. AEW apparently offered Lita a spot, and apparently it was going to be her versus Britt at, I think, All Out this past summer. So that gets the brain flowing a little bit more about, okay, maybe there's something here that they can really be doing good. What's your excitement level for a potential Lita Charlotte program, possibly even going into Mania? I'll let you start, Jay, because we'll finish with Joe for a Debbie Downer moment, I'm guessing.
The only way I want to see Lita at WrestleMania is if it's in a 4-way with Charlotte, Becky, and Bianca. Winner takes all.
You've been on that train for a while about the winner.
I have.
All. Yeah.
Lita versus Charlotte? Nah. She's 46 years old.
Wow.
I'm sure she can still go, but I'm just not into it.
Okay.
You know, I want, that if it's a 4-way at Mania, because very rarely do they have women's singles matches at Mania. For the last 5 years, it's mainly been multi-person
Triple
matches.
threats, yeah.
4-way, I would like to see a 4-way with those four, but because WrestleMania is 2 nights this year, they're going to have multiple singles women title matches. So most likely, I'm not going to get my 4-way.
Kevin,
Whoever does.
Yeah, no. Yes, and wrestling and outside of the ring. Kevin, does Lita and Charlotte, does it do anything for you? We've talked about the lack of competitors for Charlotte. Does Lita, does that pique your interest at all?
It does if it's not a one-off and Lita wins the title. And Joe, don't murder me. And Jay, don't praise. And Jay, and Jay, don't praise me. This is the only reason it would work. The title changes. It's not a quick program, right? Let it go. 1 or 2 pay-per-views, 3 pay-per-views, and eventually Charlotte will win it back, get another notch on her title counter. But then Lita has one last run, probably hey, sign with us. She's always been in incredible shape, right? But
yeah, she looks fantastic.
It has to been
46.
It had to been an ego between AEW and WWE. Lita's playing both sides, which is smart because shit, didn't Edge do that same thing too?
Exactly. Edge had an offer.
And it is very smart. And look what happened. Edge is catapulted, right? Don't think Lita's a long time employee in the ring, but she'll win the title.
And she used to have sex with Edge.
She did. We
TV.
saw her boob.
You remember that?
We saw her boob on the inflatable mattress.
That's right.
But it does pique interest because Charlotte is annoying as some people think she is. I just saw a floaty in my screen.
Oh my God, the ghost is back.
Ghost
the
is
Basement
back.
Talkers
The
podcast.
ghost is back.
Rewind that video, Jay.
But it does. I am excited for it, and my excitement is here. It can only go down versus not excited. So that's my look.
Joe, it's one of two things. It's either 0 or you're saying there's a chance for excitement. Which one is it?
Well, at least has to be half excited.
Let Joe talk.
What was the question again?
Your excitement level for this. It's either 0, I'm not excited, or
Pass,
so you're saying there's a chance.
I don't talk about her.
You can talk about Lita.
None.
Joe hates women. Joe hates women.
I hope-
I don't talk
Lita-
about she who cannot be pinned for ruining the entire women's
my
division.
God.
I'll stick
All
with
right.
Raw.
I hope Lita proves you wrong.
Don't care.
For all
Don't
of our
care.
sake. I know.
So
Don't care.
you guys
I've already
think
said too much. I don't care.
So you guys think Lita's going to win the Rumble?
I don't know if she necessarily wins it.
Yeah.
But I
Because
think
that's a
it's.
whole.
I just think they could set it up though of like
Yeah.
a double elimination. Charlotte and Lita eliminate each other, so now they're going at Mania.
That says a lot about the women's division.
Well, I think that Charlotte should win the Rumble
You're not wrong about that.
and go and unify the titles at Mania.
Okay. Yes, you do. Yeah.
And then Ronda Rousey will appear.
Yeah. But the problem with this is with the Rumble, they bring all these legends back and no one ever has a real chance to win.
No.
Well, and that's why that's what piqued my interest that Lita got a promo. Lita and Charlotte had this segment that, okay. And because of that prior contract issue with him and Britt, that I'm like, okay, I think something's there. And because, there's nothing else with Summer Rae, right? Nothing.
Kelly. Yeah.
No, nothing at all. So, all right.
I can see
shall
Nikki
see.
Bella winning. I can see Nikki Bella winning.
I
the
didn't think
Rumble.
she was even supposed to wrestle anymore.
Well, here's what's interesting. So they're both coming back, and Brie Bella just got announced that she's participating in a reality show called The Real Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Even though Nikki was on Dancing with the Stars. So that's why I think maybe
That's
Nikki
funny.
wins, and then Brie goes off to do her sex dance show on like Oprah
Yeah, but
Network.
Nikki just got offered America's Got Talent judging.
Really?
Who did?
Yes,
What?
They
Wow.
both Bellas have side gigs outside of WWE, so this is a one and done.
Okay, yeah, makes sense
Ooh.
there.
Okay.
They are there to sell their brand, and
No, I don't deny that.
there are no women in the division to fill out 30.
There is that too. All right. Let's move on to Raw. I thought it was a bit up and down show, but it had some fun parts like the Otis graduation ceremony. They're doing some sort of IQ challenge next week. That could be amazing or terrible. I love the Lashley Brock video package. Sharing the real stuff about Lashley and Bellator and Brock and UFC. That stuff always piques my interest.
No, bro, I didn't know Lashley was 15-2. I thought he had like
Who do you lose
fights.
to? Who do you lose to?
Wow.
I'd love to find out. I want to go on YouTube.
Why don't we
find
get
out
our
who he
stats
lost
and
to.
information, Kevin, and see who
I'm
Bobby
going.
Lashley lost to in
Right.
Bellator? But 15-2, I did not think he had that
Yeah.
many fights.
He lost to Bigfoot Silva or something like that. In any event,
Stephen Struve.
I think my man Stephen Struve. Love that guy. He beat Stipe. That's a long-term bit for me. All right. I did come to a revelation. I want to see if you guys are with me on this. So they had the second segment of Alexa Bliss at the doctor. They played the word association game, right? It was doll and friend. And the last word was imaginary. And then their time was up. And that's kind of how it left. Guys, I think at the Rumble, we are getting one of two things. We are either getting a version of the Three Faces of Foley, where Bliss comes out as Fiend Bliss or whatever you want to call her, and then she comes out as regular Bliss, or we're just getting the regular Bliss. I think that part of imaginary and her kind of contemplating, I think that's where it's going. She put on Twitter something to the other day of, guys, let it play out. Let it play out. I think we're getting Alexa Bliss as Little Miss Bliss back at the Royal Rumble. Who agrees? Who disagrees?
That's what we got last year.
I want to put a pin in this because Bobby Lashley lost to somebody named Chad Griggs, Strikeforce Houston, August 21st, 2010.
Wow.
And I cannot find a second loss. It says he's 15-2, but Chad Griggs is the only name that I'm seeing that he lost to.
So I showed that
beat him twice.
He
He'll
won
fight.
him.
Yeah, he beat him twice. Yeah.
I showed
It was a 2 out of 3 falls UFC match or Bellator.
Oh, he beat
match.
Bob Sapp.
He'll fight. He'll fight the winner at Elimination Chamber. I think. Chad Griggs. All right, Alexa Bliss though. I think she's back. Who's with me? Who's not with me?
Sorry, no.
No.
It's always a bad idea when they go to Twitter and say, be patient.
And she posted today something about keep your enemies close and your lovers closer, which is a line from a Ryan Cabrera song, which is who she's married to.
Lucky
So, and a lot of people think that's Harley Quinn like that saying. So I don't know. I mean, I'm all for give it time. Let it ride out. Let's see what happens. So I'm still cool with it.
All right.
You know, there were things that we thought were rushed or not rushed. They let it play out, you know, like Dr. Shelby, Team Hell No. You know, those therapy sessions were hilarious. And we got great stuff out of them. So the Fiend.
That was a different era. That was like 8 years ago. I'm not negative. I like when things get played out in the long game, but we are in an instant gratification era of all entertainment now. There's too many options. So people get bored and they're like, how many times are you watching inside the crowd? Brian definitely watches the crowd because he's looking at the lighting. That you just see people on their phone instead of watching the match, not living the moment because there's always other things. Thank you, Jason, for proving my point.
Right.
I know I'm that boring, but I wish it would play out, but by the time it does, people have already lost interest, and that's the sad reality of where we're at now in all entertainment.
All right. I'm going to give it a week, but if it trends like I thought it trended this past Monday, I think I'm going to be up for some 6-pack bets. That's all I got to say.
So you think there's going to be multiple versions of Alexa Bliss in the Rumble?
Either multiple or just Little Miss Bliss. I think that imaginary being the last word and her kind of having to sit there and think may be the catalyst for bringing her back going, yeah, it's imaginary. It's not real.
But that's what they did last year, though.
What was last year? I'm sorry.
Like she came back as cutesy blondie Alexa Bliss
at the Rumble.
At the Rumble.
Well, that was like, yeah, with camera tricks of right, like she could be that way, and then the camera turned away, and because they were in the Thunderdome. Okay, yeah, so they did that. So, but yeah, this with the crowd.
Or maybe it was 2 years. Was it 2 years ago?
No, it was probably last year.
Probably
last year. But you know, I'm picturing the 3 faces of Foley of that one Rumble where he came out as Dude Love, as Mankind, as Cactus Jack. I really think, you know, we talked about it, Joe. There's not 30 women to put in the match. Have somebody do it twice. I think that.
Is there a chance someone dresses up as Lily?
No, I would say no. I don't know where the guy.
Alexa dresses up as Lily.
Oh my, I don't know. But isn't Lily Alexa in doll form, right? So
have they confirmed that's what it was?
No, but I don't think we need to do that. So.
We need 2 sources for that, Brian.
Yes. Okay. We'll wait.
Maybe they'll bring back Eva Marie as Lily.
Oh, well,
if
they get the cover of the video game.
Yeah,
congrats to her. That is awesome news for Eva Marie fans. But all right. We'll see how that one goes next week. AEW, my biggest takeaway, you guys said it, the crowd lighting was a lot better. Happy to see that. It was a very weird 2 weeks ago for whatever reason. Mox is back, though. In other news, Mox is back. He was heckled. I listened to it, and you can hear the heckler, and he says something to the effect of, "Get this drunk piece of trash out of the ring."
I could not hear what they said, and I was, oh wow!
I rewound it a few times, and I'm like, sort of, and then I went straight to the source, social media, and just like people in the crowd are like, I think that's what he said. So
wow!
Yeah. So what a dick that was. So yeah, Mox, the TNT doesn't have censors at this point,
or TBS.
Or TBS. So, yes, you're right. TBS.
So did it air him saying the word fuck?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Okay. So my DVR was on the Fritz this week. So I taped it off Hulu. Remember, I didn't watch it live, and I taped the West Coast feed instead of the East Coast feed. So on the West Coast feed, it was all beeped out.
Okay. All right.
Well, I have it on my YouTube TV, still on my DVR.
Yeah.
I will send you the clip.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
it was an hour late starting, and I started 1 minute in. I'm like, holy F-bomb to Joe and Brian.
Right off the bat.
Wow.
And hey, we've ripped on Jim Ross plenty on this show. I want to give him his props because he says the line immediately after Moxley swears. He goes, "Well, he ain't changed much." I thought that was great.
There was a point where Jim Ross said something to the effect of, it was about a match that we're gonna get. He goes, "Well, it looks like we're gonna get that match, and I am gonna watch it." And I'm like, "Fuck."
Sounds good.
You better watch it. You work
good.
there.
There's
Sounds
another
good.
time,
Calling it.
Jim, at some point during a match, he was like, "He's a really attractive man."
I might have heard that too.
I got to.
Yeah.
I'm going to rewatch it.
Who did he say it? I remember that.
Yeah, that rang a bell.
Oh, he's a really attractive man.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Before we move
Jimbo.
on from Mox,
Yeah,
something happened today. Bully Ray on Busted Open said that Mox should have had more accountability and apologized to the fans for his absence. And it's internet, Twitter's going crazy. I thought Mox looked awesome.
a lot slimmer, right, guys?
He looks
Slim, thin. I was just like, "Fuck yeah, this dude
I said
is
the
ready
same thing.
to go, ready to go."
Yeah, it's
You
amazing.
could hear a pin drop when
Yes.
he was starting that promo. I mean, nice quiet claps, almost like a golf clap, or like watching New Japan, where like the just really fast, like quiet claps. I mean, people were. I'm glad the heckler got his whatever. You said it one thing perfect. He shut up, but like I really liked it because he showed emotion. A little weirdly scripted with his dream / "Oh, I've been to hell. I physically have been to hell." But he made you believe it. Like, oh, maybe he really did. I liked it.
Has anyone read his
enjoyed it a
book?
lot.
I've started it, but I got sidetracked. So
I'm about halfway through it, and it's just like, there's no order to the book, which is
right.
a fascinating read.
Which is
it's
awesome. It's so good.
It's like one chapter, he's 18. The next chapter, it's last year. And then the next chapter, he's starting in FCW. Okay. And it's all over the place. And I love the fact of, he also has inside of his book, too, just random chapters of, "I love Point Break." Or,
oh my God. Okay. Yeah. It's
and how
great.
to make a sandwich. There's a chapter dedicated to how to make a sandwich, which he has sketches drawn out of the perfect way to make a sandwich. And then it goes into like Florida Championship Wrestling. It goes into Foley and the
promo.
That feud that never quite happened. That's great. He looked amazing from what I could tell. He's taking on Ethan Page Friday. It's a live Rampage, so you probably want to tune in to check that out if I remember.
Wait, are we sure it's live?
Yes. Yeah, they're doing 2 nights in that arena.
DC. Okay.
Yeah, so that's cool. I hated the Lance Archer match against Kazarian. I was bored as I just kept going.
Long.
I'm like, went way too long. Next week though, big
and I
show.
Was wrong. He brought Jake back. Remember last week I said I was glad there was no Jake with him. And then he brings Jake.
But
I brought Dan Lambert. Was it ring?
Right.
Dan Lambert was at ringside. Jake didn't come to ringside.
I know.
He
I saw Jake for 1
then
second.
He was like, he's back to catering.
Yeah, but Jake was like did the promo and everything. And I'm like, no, Jake, why?
Yeah.
But
Jake was there, but then I never saw him again. Like I saw him for 1 second, and then Lambert took over. Next week though is a big week. They're doing their beach break in Cleveland. You got Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy in a lights out match. Sammy and Cody, the ladder match. We kind of talked about. My question though, who thinks Johnny Gargano, Cleveland's own, is going to show up?
I do.
Joe does. Okay.
Yeah.
Jay,
I think Gargano shows up in the Rumble
with Cody.
Okay, with Cody. Yes.
Without Cody. With the Big Show.
Kevin,
with Mark Henry.
Thoughts? Yay, nay, Gargano.
I for the sake of, AEW is a little bit better of a work life schedule, and he's going to be a dad soon, right?
It'll be a one-off. Rumble will be a one-off.
If AEW is a one-off, I would be sad just because I want to see him a lot, but I hope he doesn't go to AEW just with the amount of new people.
How many?
So many new people. Like I just don't want it to get lost in the shuffle. Like Adam Cole was getting
Like,
kind of
sure.
lost in the shuffle for me for a little bit. And now he's getting back to where I'm like, okay, I want to see Adam Cole like a lot now, but I don't want to see Johnny go yet. I want to see him.
Andrade is the
fizzle out.
one who got lost in the shuffle.
Oh, Andrade.
yeah.
Oh, the worst.
Oh,
that whole
the
spiel
AHFO
where they were all on the
no.
stairs.
Kiss of death.
That was who was with the blade in
Butcher.
That was
Butcher.
not the Butcher.
Sure it was.
That was not the Butcher on that staircase.
Well, in any event,
From
it was
at
the worst.
Chewy Lewis 76 on Twitter.
Oh.
As I was watching that, where'd it go? I saw that segment, and I'm like, I wonder how bad Andrade feels about signing with AEW.
Yeah,
Bad story after bad story after bad story.
it's rough. It's rough.
Oh.
I think Gargano shows. I think it might be just a one-off. He's gonna get that Cleveland hometown pop, but him and Candice are having their baby in February, so I don't think they're gonna,
Next week.
in the regular. Yeah, I don't think it's coming. So, yeah. So all right,
Is she going to be in the Rumble? Because, I mean, she hasn't given birth yet, and Jason thinks it's okay.
Like 4 days after.
she is Superwoman. My
Starting 4
goodness.
days after.
All right. Well, speaking of who is showing up, that's always a question that we ask for next week's Royal Rumble. Who's going to come? Who's going to be the surprise? That leads us to today's 5 count.
That Wrestling Podcast presents the 5 Count.
This week, for me at least, the top 5, this was incredibly difficult. You could do a top 10, you could do a top 20 for this one. It's your top 5 favorite Royal Rumble moments. The Rumble is all about unpredictability, it's about surprises, which leads me to just amazing moments. So for me, again, limiting this to just 5 was real hard. Kevin, do you want to start with your 5? Since usually you have 10 in the hopper, I'll let you
He
go
probably
first.
has 20.
Yeah.
So.
I have 7.
All right. Well,
And-
you have to go with your just 5
and
for this
it
week.
is
I was
funny.
expecting 30 in honor of the Rumble.
Yes.
So
Is this the 30th year?
No, just 30
No,
men.
30 men.
Royal Rumble.
Oh,
with
30
only
people. Yeah. Gotcha.
Psych,
Or 40.
I got 20. No, just kidding.
Fuck.
No. So Brian, you mentioned, you had a difficult time going through. I
Yeah.
literally thought in my brain, and I was thinking of fun things, crazy things that stood out. I don't want to say I didn't spend enough time on it, but I literally was just thinking, like, half the time I'm like, I kind of like analyze things and think hard. And then other times I'm just like, what made me laugh or what stays in my brain? So some old, some new. 2020, number 5, Brock eliminating 13 competitors in the Royal Rumble. Just him coming out number 1, throwing in, fighting all sorts of guys. You see Shelton Benjamin come in, they give each other the smile, and then Drew finally eliminating him. It was just a fun thing that always is going to be in my mind. Number 4, the first time you saw a female walk down in the men's Rumble, China, and then Beth Phoenix, a couple of years later, just kind of like setting the precedence. Because it makes you think, like, who could do that nowadays? If they would have built up Rhea Ripley, maybe, right? But now she's so soft, no one on that roster could
Nia was in it a couple years ago.
Yeah,
right?
but
She took an RKO.
yeah, but I didn't add her because
Joe hates her.
yeah, I just China and then Beth Phoenix, legitimate, when she eliminated Great Khali after
That
giving
was
them
a
that
good
big smooch. Number 3, I mentioned things that make me laugh. Just Santino getting eliminated by, I'm not ready. I wasn't ready. It's just one of those,
We were
taking
there.
the record from a fraction of a second from the Warlord years earlier. Number 2000.
That was it real quick. Yeah. Cause Joe said it. We were there. And
Yeah,
we
we were
all
there.
had our Rumble picks. I think
And you had
Santino
'em.
was one of mine. I was like, son of a bitch.
No.
Yeah.
Live in Detroit, Michigan.
It was.
Man,
Yep.
13 years ago. Time flies. I was in my 20s. 2016, the debut of AJ Styles. I remember exactly where I was. I was in the basement of my buddy Scott Martin's house in Portland, Michigan, watching AJ Styles and just the music coming out. And then you see AJ, having an incredible match, soccer mom haircut. It was very cool. Very, very cool.
Roman squinting, like, who is this guy?
Did you squeeze his wrestling buddies when AJ came out?
That was Alan.
Oh, fuck Alan.
And I would have stole one of those damn wrestling buddies if he would have had them. Number one, the match was incredible, 1992. But the thing that makes me so memorable of the moment, with a tear in my eye, the promo after. Like, it was just something magical about it. It was for the title, and Flair coming out of fresh in WWE, and just that promo. And then, you have Bobby, you have Ric Flair, or
Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig in the background too, and just Flair, just so beat red face, white hair, sweating, body, boom, so red, and just that promo is just absolutely amazing. The match was fantastic as well, but those are number 5. Little nostalgia, little fun in there, little humor with Santino. That's my top 5.
Excellent.
5 count.
Excellent job. Jay, do you want to go next?
I'd love to. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, number 5, 2003. John Cena was in Dr. Thugonomics mode, and he walked to the ring rapping, and he took almost the entire 2 minutes to get down. I thought that was hilarious.
That's great.
Number 4, 2013.
Whoa.
Santino was in the last 5. And for me, I thought maybe he was going to win. He didn't. Ziggler super kicked him out of the ring. But I thought, we need more of those moments. Like I said earlier, they bring back all these women legends. None of them have a chance.
Right.
Give someone a chance. Make it believable. Number 3, 2017. Ty Dillinger enters at number 10.
Nice.
I was there for that one at the Alamo
because
Dome.
he was the perfect 10 in NXT.
Yep. Yes, he was.
It was
That's
awesome.
a good moment. Yep. The whole crowd knew it too. When they're doing the countdown, me and everybody else at the Alamo Dome were like 10, 10, 10. And when this music hit, we went nuts.
Mm-hmm. Number 2,
great song.
1989. Demolition Axe enters at number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Demolition Smash enters at number 2. I had never seen teammates fight.
Right.
I mean, I was 13 years old, but I was just like, wow, that's really cool. And then finally, number 1 is Royal Rumble 2014. I was there. It was at Mellon Arena in Pittsburgh. The crowd hates Rey Mysterio at number 30 because everyone thought Daniel Bryan was going to be number 30, and he wasn't. Batista won that year, and Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan had a great curtain jerk match. It was awesome.
Yes, that was like the opening match of the night, maybe. Yeah,
and then Batista won. The second Batista DVD is about that day, because that was the beginning of his return to where he wrestled against Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton and Triple H at WrestleMania 30. So, those are my 5 Royal Rumble moments. Now, of course, there's a million of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I went with, and as always, I try to find things that aren't as obvious.
Yes.
So,
but those were some really good ones. I love the demolition one. I love that you did an in-person one. That was funny recently because I saw somebody on Twitter put can you believe Rey Mysterio has been a face his entire WWE career for 20 some years? And somebody else put but what about when he was number 30 in the Rumble that year? He was a heel that night. People booed the hell out of Rey Mysterio. How do you boo Rey Mysterio? That night they did. That was amazing. Great job, Jay. Joe, go ahead. I'll go last.
All right. Number 5 was the infamous 40-man battle royal at Royal Rumble. It has nothing to do with there was 40 people. That wasn't memorable. What was memorable was there was rumors Kevin Nash was going to be there. Yes. There were no rumors that he was going to be Diesel.
That's right.
So when that Diesel music hit, I was like totally going, oh my God. And then he like put on the glove and yes.
Thank you,
So
Kevin.
Kevin wearing that shirt, I thought that was going to be on your list. So Big Daddy Cool coming back. And then he had a stare down with the Big Show when he got eliminated. I'm like, oh, they're going to set up Diesel versus. and I was excited
that
about
back.
that crappy match.
Yeah.
Number 4. This is from, I want to say like 2001. Kane was like, he was the MVP of that Rumble. Undertaker's in there. They clear house. They're obviously working together. And the next person to come out was Scotty 2 Hotty looking scared to death. Who here remembers that? Where you just like, it's Kane and the Undertaker. They're the only two in the ring because they eliminated everybody. And they're just sitting there waiting. They're not fighting each other. They're waiting.
Who's
and then
out?
It's 3, 2, 1. Turn it up. And he comes down to the ring like he's just looking scared. He's like, he's not doing the dancing. And Undertaker just does this. That moment like is forever etched in my brain. I love that moment because
was it this version of the Undertaker?
Yes, it was that version and Kane with the half mask. So it was those two. I think it was 2001, right before the invasion, where those two were like the start of the Brothers of Destruction. Number 3, he came in at number 3. AJ's debut. Yeah. It was Roman, and then everyone's like, we don't know this music, but the second they panned to I Am Phenomenal, and everyone knew who he was. I didn't think that was going to happen. Number 2, Cena, 2008, coming in at number 30.
The return.
No one thought he was coming back. He was supposed to be out for a year.
Yeah.
And that was in the heyday of we hate Cena from everybody. And when that New York crowd exploded for him, that's a moment. My number 1 moment of all time. It involves John Cena and Batista. It's when they both won, and Vince with both of his quads yelling and screaming, and just then both quads go, and he's sitting there,
he's just
throwing
sitting
his jacket,
in the ring,
angry.
Oh my God!
And when Jason, when you mentioned the curtain jerking, I was like, it made me remind me of the Daniel Bryan with his Wyatt family jumpsuit.
The jumpsuit.
Oh wow, God! Yeah. They made that for like 1 month of his career.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome. and I have it. But yeah, number 1 is Vince. That's the best Rumble moment, period. Because you couldn't script it any better because it wasn't scripted.
That's great. And what would also be included in that, but I'm sorry, I don't consider the greatest Royal Rumble that was in Saudi Arabia a Royal Rumble.
That doesn't count.
If I did, the Titus slide would probably get consideration.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, but Jay texted me. I was at a bar and I'm like, I'm going to come home and watch it later. And I watched that thing for 30 minutes, and to hear Corey Graves lose his mind. I mean, it was absolutely incredible.
I was watching it at work that day.
Okay.
Because out here it was like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Yeah. That was incredible. I remember Corey or Michael Cole, because it was them and Saxton.
Graves couldn't control himself.
Graves was the cheers, which was amazing. And one of them, because Titus, of course, is a University of Florida guy, and I guess so is Saxton. And like either Cole or Graves was like, "You Florida guys," and Saxton goes, "Don't put that on me! Don't put that on me!" I was like, "Oh, Byron's even turning heel on old Titus." All right, well, yeah. So we're not going to count that. So my real number 5, top 5 of my 5 count. Number 5. Is the same as Kevin's in theory, but it was the moment of Drew eliminating Brock at the 2020 Royal Rumble. Yeah, like you said, Brock eliminated everybody. Elias, where's he been? Kofi, Big E, Ray, Cesaro, Shelton, MVP, all these guys. And I remember in our text chat, it was very divisive. People are like, this fucking sucks. Fuck Brock. He's burying the entire roster. But you do that because when Drew eliminated Brock, watch the pop. He was made that moment. He stared Brock down. It was absolutely awesome. He had a little help from Ricochet too. Ricochet had the low blow. But that's my number 5. Such a great moment. Number 4, Shawn's feet do not touch the floor. The 95 Rumble. Yeah, I had to go back and relive this one. But so that Rumble started off, number 1 was Shawn Michaels. Number 2 was Davey Boy Smith. And the whole Rumble happens. They end up being the last 2. How cool was that? Davey Boy Smith throws Shawn Michaels out of the ring, and the camera is just straight on the ring, and you think it's over. And the music plays, Davey Boy Smith's music, and he's on the ropes celebrating. And Vince McMahon is in, mid-90s Vince McMahon mode of, congratulations, Davey Boy Smith, he's going to WrestleMania. And all of a sudden, Shawn comes in, yanks Bulldog off the ropes, and he just hits him off the ropes, and over the top rope, Davey Boy goes. And then you wait for the Fink to say, the winner is Shawn Michaels. And they showed the replay of Shawn holding on the ropes, 1 foot touching him, swinging back and forth. It was really cool. That was for 95. That totally completely floored me. Number 3, in person for Rob Van Dam shows up at Joe Louis Arena in the 2009 Royal Rumble. He was number 25. This was May 28th,
May 28th?
Oh, okay. Yeah, May 28th, 2007. That was his last match in WWE. He had taken a hiatus. He did show up to squash Santino in the 15th. Hiatus. Yes. If it's RVD, it was definitely a hiatus. But yeah, he beat Santino at the 15-year Raw in December. That's the only time we actually saw him for a couple of years. And I remember texting with you, Jay, because me, Kevin, and Joe were going, and you were like, there's a spoiler.
I knew what was happening.
You knew, and you were like, this is good, something big, this is worth seeing. And I was like, oh, okay. And when RVD came out, you're like, that's the one. So that was great.
A lot of buzz around that rumor.
And yes. I had him in the Royal Rumble picks too.
That was
so
in your pick? Okay.
Oh, this is so exciting. But then I'm like, he's not going to win. This sucks.
Right. Because that was the whole height of the one-shot deal jokes online. Yes. This is a one-shot deal. So, but that was great. RVD coming back to Michigan, his home state. That was my number 3. My number 2, I can't believe no one said this. Edge returning to the Rumble in 2020. Guys, back after 9 years, the Alter Bridge music hits. He's practically in tears coming down the ring. He looks amazing. He makes it to the final 3 with Roman and Drew. It was awesome. I tore my MCL celebrating Edge's return. I'm dead serious. They didn't diagnose it, but I was walking with a limp the next day because of how much I was jumping up and down celebrating that Edge was back. That's my number 2. My number 1 is the number 1 that I think Kevin said as well. Flair, 92, Heenan, and really it's because of Heenan. I rewatched it. It's yes is the right word, Joe. I rewatched it. Bobby Heenan, when Ric Flair throws Sid Justice out of the ring, thanks to a little hope from Hulk Hogan, he says yes 19 times. He says, I told you 6 times, and 5 times he said he did it. So it was just the absolute best. He just absolutely loses it. I can't beat that moment. It's fucking incredible. And like you said, Kevin, the backstage promo continuing on with the tear in my eye. That's also the moment of put that cigarette out. That really had it all. It was absolutely perfect. That was 30 years ago this week. Ric Flair, 92 Royal Rumble winner. That is my number 1 for this week's 5 count.
Who made your 5 count? Let us know on social media using the hashtag TWP5count.
All right, so that'll do it for this week's show. A banner show. Next week will be our Royal Rumble preview. We will get all of our predictions and thoughts on what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble in St. Louis going on at next week's episode. Don't forget to check out the merch, including the brand new TWP 2.0 shirt on whatermaneuver.net. Excuse me. We're all changing.
We didn't talk about that. We were going to, but we didn't.
I don't know if we did. Did we talk about it?
No, we did not.
No, we did not.
You're right.
Walter
we teased it. You're right.
What a Maneuver rebranded this week, Brian. And what did they rebrand as?
To Walter a Maneuver. and I think the follow-up tweet was, the merch is sacred. That's so great. So props to our friends at What a Maneuver. They're totally on point. And yeah, the NXT 2.0 shirts there and all the other NXT.
No, the TWP 2.0.
But it's NXT, the NXT inspired.
With
TWP 2.0.
When you had all those facts about he said it 19 times, said it 16 times. I'm like, yeah, I made the right choice in letting you bequeathing the honors to
Yes.
you of being the host. And then you just go mess up. You're going to mess up the socials now? Like
no,
usual?
it's at that WrestlePod, right?
Hey, all right.
2 weeks in a row. Let's keep the Cal Ripken streak going. But yeah, enjoy wrestling, everybody. Have a great week. We will talk to you next week with the Royal Rumble preview. We are out.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3, that's it!